Hello, hi, and welcome to Empathic Fire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Scorpio in mid-July 2021. What's going on, Scorpio? How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Scorpio, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're safe, happy, healthy, and secure. Continue to take very good care of yourselves and those that you know and love. And if you're out and about mingling, getting back into some routine in your life, please make sure you are careful and take precautions as you do so according to your locality. I know we're all anxious to get back to normal, but you know, there's some spots in the world where it's still not happening. So again, be careful, take care of yourselves, make good choices, all that good stuff, okay? Scorpio, no other announcements here in July, or mid-July, excuse me, so let's just go ahead and get into it. Anything you want, it's already in the description box. Timestamp is down there. Information on how to book a personal reading is down there. If you have questions before you place an order for a personal, just email me at the same address, and I will answer you as soon as I can. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, show your support over there, there is a link for that down there in the description box. But gotta be honest, not very good with Instagram, not at all. But any support, passive or more direct, is always appreciated. So if you want to follow me there, give a like or subscribe, yes, or subscribe over here. That's totally cool. I would appreciate it. Okay. All right, guys, let's get into it. Messages for Scorpio in mid-July 2021. Scorpio, mid-July 2021. Feels good. Okay, let's do it. I'm using decks that I don't use often just to kind of break up the energy that I've been doing readings with. These decks, as you can see, have large cards. Kind of hard to shuffle, even though your girl has pretty sizable hands. She be 6'2", y'all, you know? But let's see. For Scorpio, messages for them, please. So far, so good with these different messages or energies. Like, I should say, the way they're showing me messages is different. I'll say that. Anyway, for Scorpio, thank you. I think that's 2 or 3. Oh, Lord. You're another one that's going to get 4 cards to start. Now, which way are we going to spread these out? This way? Yeah, that way feels better. Okay. All right, let's see what we've got here. All face down, so that's always fun. High Priestess, okay. Tower, oy. 7 of Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles, okay. I love that. Okay, so there's this song. First of all, your girl loves Prince. I'm a big Prince fan. And the start of Let's Go Crazy played in my head. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life. Electric word life, you know, that whole thing. And that was more, I feel like I would never classify myself as this, but I feel like I'm about to give you a sermon. Like, I feel like I have to deliver a message to you in the way a sermon would be given to a congregation, I guess. And I did not go to church growing up. I've been to church 3-4 times in my life, at different intervals for different reasons. So I don't relate 100% to this analogy of me being a preacher, but like, that's what this feels like. It feels like you are in need of being spoken to, and not necessarily by me, because the High Priestess is here to start. High Priestess, secondary major for Cancer. Tower, you're there. Scorpio and Aries exist in the Tower. 7 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles. So it could just be from your guides, from your spirit guides. So, and notice how her arms are open, reaching up. She's acting as a vessel. She's acting as a conduit. Yes? So and maybe that's it. It's not even that you have to listen to me, but you should be open to some type of channel, some type of vessel, some type of unexpected way of receiving messages, right? That's what I think that was about, Dearly Beloved. And maybe that song, you know, Let's Go Crazy by Prince, it's a great song, not just a party song. It has a good religious or spiritual overtone to it, as does much of his music, as does his entire life. You know, he was a very interesting person. Like, the more you know about Prince, not to say you should, but the more you know about him and learn about him, you realize, like, he was very complex. Like, on the surface, I think visually, musically, it seems like he was controversial and, you know, very overly sexual or very tongue-in-cheek. But he was also a super religious and spiritual person. Whatever. I'm not here to tell you about the delights of Prince. I'm here to talk about your reading. But I think that's what's going on here. I think like that. Well, what goes on in Let's Go Crazy? The chorus is, let's go crazy, let's get nuts. Looking for, the lyric is weird. Looking for a purple banana before they put us in the truck. Let's go. And if the elevator tries to break you down, go crazy. So I feel like that is here, this idea of perseverance, but you are possibly struggling to get to that point or align with that energy, because over here I feel like you're doing some damage control. 7 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles. You might be expecting more, thinking you have more to pull from, more resources than you actually do. Or you feel if you take a piece of your resources now, you won't be able to recoup it. Whatever resources is, Pentacles, money, sure. Other things of physical possession or value, yes. But because of these two cards here, I think it's like more of a spiritual pentacle or spiritual money or spiritual material. I don't know. It feels like some of you, like, you might be evicted in some sense if it's from your physical home, a job, something that was stable. 7 of Pentacles plays into this. Something that was stable, the Tower, kind of goes kablooey in your face or in a way that's unexpected. If it doesn't go kablooey, it just like changes. It changes sharply or it changes drastically. It is... I think you've tried to prepare for this and you still feel you don't have all your ducks in a row. I feel like you've tried to forecast what this Tower moment is or was in your life. 7 of Pentacles. You really tried to keep things afloat, to make sure all of your T's were crossed, all your I's were dotted, and you still feel like you're coming up short. And some of you, that's truly what it is. You will be coming up short. So this could be like something was due, a bill, right? Rent, rent has been a problem for thousands, if not millions of people for the past several months, if not better part of a year or two, right? And again, like pulling from possible resources that you didn't have with the 7 of Pentacles. Like this person is in a hood and, the tree doesn't have but much, viable fruit or vegetation on it. And the hood and then even back here, it's like maybe, for lack of a better word, some of you stole what didn't belong to you, or this concept of taking what didn't belong to you. Or taking, repurposing. There you go. So let's think of it this way. A lot of things are coming through here for you guys, Scorpio. So if you got evicted, or you're facing eviction, or you're facing some trouble in paying some type of bill, you might have taken from places that you weren't meant to take from, meaning your savings. So it's not necessarily that you stole from other people, but you, quote unquote, stole from yourself, or you, oh boy, that's a sad tale, but it does happen that you steal from your children. So like some of you set up savings accounts for your children, but you went in there and got money to pay for what needs to be paid for, or maybe what doesn't need to be paid for. I don't know how shady or above board your dealings are. And then in the background of the 5 of Pentacles, you see there's like this greyhound or this dog or whatever chasing like this rabbit. So there's this trying to get after something, trying to do damage control before something goes kaput or gets shaken up in your life. And I feel the bigger message, the more important message here, because I think this is what you are aware of. You're aware of circumstances are changing. You're aware that things are not what they used to be. There might be some huge blow up in your life that you were, again, preparing for, trying to, get ahead of or whatever. But you're still feeling like, it's not enough, or everything I did, I'm still going to end up losing something here. Because Five of Pentacles is about, for lack of a better word at this moment, poverty. Not to say you're, in all of your cases, you're living, on Skid Row, or you have zero money or something like that, but it's like feeling like you don't have enough. That type of poverty. The feeling of poverty, not necessarily actual poverty, but the feeling of it, right? So before, where you're used to being able to save, $500 a month, going into your savings, going into your 401k, maybe you lost your, whatever you are used to. Now it's like you can't put anything away. Like, again, you're dipping into savings, so maybe your savings isn't tapped, but what you've been doing makes you feel like you're poor, even if you're not literally poor. I hope that makes sense. The big dog on the table, I feel, is this High Priestess. I feel, Scorpio, for some of you, you've lost connectivity with your higher self, with your guides, with your Lord and Savior, whatever you believe in or don't believe in, whatever entity or belief system you subscribe to, right? I feel that you've been cast off. I wanted to say cut off, but as you see, the word that came out was cast off. Cast off. So for some of you, as would be your wont, 8th house, you might feel as if God has rejected you, God has punished you, the powers that be have punished you, something like that. It's up to you. That's your life, that's your perception. I'm not here to necessarily challenge that or say, oh, come on, Scorpio, don't think that way. I would encourage you not to, because I think at all times we are one with the universe, one with spirit. We have the ability to utilize what's happening to us, or what we perceive as happening to us, for good, or find the meaning, find the deeper or expansive purpose, right? So I would encourage you, and I would encourage myself, because I do not walk on water myself. I'm not perfect. I have been in that curse you spirit. I've been in that headspace too. But I think you really believe that. High Priestess, you really believe. Like, some of you maybe are having an issue forgiving yourselves, right? Not that the High Priestess offers forgiveness or is in the business of forgiveness, but the High Priestess, again, is in communication with the higher power. But I feel you, for some reason, are not talking with your higher power at this moment. You're not talking with spirit. You're not talking with the universe. You're just like, no calls, please. And I think the imperative, and it could be because you've been very involved in this situation, second house is your opposite sign, or opposite house, and Taurus is your opposite sign. And that's very real. That's very tangible, right? That's very much what we can perceive in the 3D. You're very much outside of the 3D, or subterranean from the 3D, 8th house, right? So I think you've been in that opposite energy of what is going on in my day-to-day, what is going on in my physical surroundings, and you haven't really done your 8th house due diligence, I suppose, and really gotten into the crevices, or really gone into that cerebral space. And I think the invitation is here for you to go into that cerebral space. Again, they're giving me the whole Let's Go Crazy by Prince. I don't think it's going to speak to you thoroughly or deeply, but just like give the lyrics a look. Maybe don't even listen to the song, because it's kind of like a dancey track, right? It's a very like, it's very easy to get wrapped up into the music. So just read the lyrics and see if that speaks to you. But I feel like there's some otherness that is important here, that you have ignored, that you've cut off. You're screening calls from the universe. You don't really want to interact in that way. And I think you've been very involved, as one would be if you're facing eviction, if something in your life is that you thought was stable and secure is suddenly proved to be unstable. You've tapped into resources that weren't your own, or you didn't want, that you delegated for another purpose, and now you're repurposing them, and then you end up feeling very without, having this lack mentality, having this despair. Like, I mean, even look at the way the woman's leaning up against the tree there. Like, woe is me. Like, you know, her face is buried in her arms. She's either ashamed, embarrassed, exhausted, feeling distraught, whatever. So if that's your day-to-day feeling, I don't blame you for not picking up the line when universe is like, ring, ring, Scorpio, I'd like to talk to you. You're like, not right now. Can't talk to you. I've got way too much shit on my plate to go ahead and talk to you right now. And I mean, again, let's go crazy really is when the elevator tries to bring you down, go crazy. That is an allegory to when the devil elevator tries to bring you down into hell, right? This is an allegory, this analogy. Let's go crazy. Talk to God. Talk to your higher power. That's essentially what that song is about. And what does he talk about in that song? He talks about trying to call his girl. She picks up the phone. He hears some sounds he doesn't want to hear. And like that makes him upset. So it's like something in your reality has made you upset. And that disjoints you, that disconnects you from your higher self, from your guides, from everything that exists beyond Earth. So let's talk about the High Priestess, because I think that's the big one on the table. These are nothing to shake a stick at, but I think that's, you know that very well. I want to know, yeah. We need to know more about the High Priestess. Why is the High Priestess here? Oh my God, Scorpio. 20 minutes talking to you about this. Nearly. Let's see about the High Priestess. Let's clarify that. Why is the High Priestess here for Scorpio, please? Well, 2 cards. Bring it down here. Yes, thank you. Lovers and the Moon. Let me tell you something about lovers. Gemini's reading was not fun. It wasn't terrible, but that energy, I did all these readings today, so it's fresh in my mind. The Gemini reading was very disjointed. It was very not, I wasn't a fan of it. If you're connected with a Gemini, if Gemini is prominent in your chart, if you are curious, check it out. Maybe there's some overlap there, but, oh, man. Anyway, lovers, Gemini energy, Moon, Pisces energy. Could be connecting with a Pisces. I did their reading, but I can't recall it at this moment. I think listen, Scorpio, there is a joy. Very interesting. There's a joy. There's a place, a vibe, a mindset, a tranquility, a sense of serenity that you desire. You know, lovers not necessarily is about desire, but with the Moon and the High Priestess, a lot of Moon energy, a lot of emotional pull there. 12th and 4th house. Yeah. It's like a thing you want is not your own. Which is kind of what we talked about up here a little bit. A thing you want is not your own. You could have an issue at this time with envy, jealousy. Not here to drag you or call you out, but like it very well could be you see other people who have more and you lust for that. And in your desire for other people's things, you neglect what you have. It's, you know, and again, I told you, this High Priestess energy, and at the start, I said, I feel like I need to talk to you as if I was going to give a sermon, but I personally do not feel comfortable sermonizing at this time. Most times, I don't feel comfortable sermonizing. especially on a level like this where it's like an anonymous reading with a general population. If you were one person having a personal reading, oh, I'd be going off here because I could see it more clearly, but it's a group. So I don't know the nuances. I don't know the details. But what I'm sensing here is your eye, your desire, your heart, your focus is very worried, very enraptured in what you don't have in the moment. You don't have the money in the moment. You don't have the resources in the moment. And that leads to this continual spiral, this continual, what is this, populating. It like keeps repopulating this energy of, I don't have enough. I don't have enough. And maybe you don't. Maybe you do, but you think you don't. I don't know. You got to talk to somebody, spiritually speaking. If you believe in a certain deity, talk to that deity. If you believe in a general spiritual, woo-woo-ness, go ahead and do that. If you believe in yourself, talk to yourself. If you believe in therapists, talk to a therapist. You have to offload some of this because you're keeping it hidden, the moon. You're keeping it very personal. And also, you long for this thing. You see that deer in the background? That's going to sound weird, but I feel like that deer wants to be a part of this little, coupling that we see in the foreground. So, for some of you, this is like a spiritual thing. Like, your 5D existence, whatever that is, wherever that is, whomever, all those things, is looking at your 3D self. Or vice versa. Your 3D self is looking at your spiritual self and wanting the thing that the spiritual self has. The physical self is not happy. Boom, boom, boom. End tower. Boom. Your spiritual self is very assured, at peace, possibly enthralled in something that's loving. And your reality is without a lot of love. Gotta be honest. Pentacles, not known for love. It supports love. It's a good complementary energy to love, or this idea of emotional attachment, but it's actually more physical than not, right? So physical, tower, disruption to that. And then the spiritual aspect is a little bit more dynamic. It's a little bit more at home, and I think I said this word, tranquil or peaceful, right? But you have a richer 5D experience than you have a richer 3D experience. And that's, I don't want to say that's sad, but I think it's like, that's the longing. That's part of the weariness of your physical life, is that your spiritual life is way nicer. Which again, second house, eighth house, those two dynamics. Second house, present in the physical 3D space. And that can be enriched, that can be very lively, that can be very fulfilling. But eighth house is the subterranean of that, which is dark, dank, spooky, And it's often, even if you think of like some of the archetypes of eighth house and second house. Second house, my money. Eighth house, other people's money. Right? So your money, not it's not great. But your other people's money, your other people being your spiritual self, your 5D self, and other entities that support you, or other entities that are part of you in this life, but you don't perceive it that way, they're very rich. But your physical self is not rich. This is so weird. Like, I understand this. I don't want to say that you don't understand it. I'm just going to say I don't think everybody's going to resonate with this. What is the advice for Scorpio? Like, your 5D self is possibly living the life that you want to live here on Earth. And it's not to say you can't have it. It's not to say that the 5D can only live that life and the 3D has to live a separate life. I think you don't know how to make as above, so below. You don't know how to do that because you've disconnected. You take the call, Scorpio. Take the call. Make the call. Hell. Maybe universe was calling you for a while and then they stopped calling you. I'm like, well, I guess Scorpio doesn't want to pick up the phone. I guess Scorpio doesn't really want to connect, so I'm just going to stop calling. And now you're thinking, oh, universe, wait, call me back. Call the universe. Call your people. Call your spirit guides. It's not a, the lines of communication work both ways. Yeah? Okay. What's the card of advice here for Scorpio, please? Again, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. But that's the vibe it feels like. And I mean, that's a general rule of thumb with any spiritual practice. It's a two-way street. Card of advice for Scorpio here, please. Oh my. That's interesting. Are we doing all these? No, they say don't. We're not? Are we sure? We're not. Okay. That's very interesting, because normally I might look at it or even take the top card, but they're like, nah. No. So we'll give it one more try. Card of advice for Scorpio. If any of those cards, there goes one. The Sun. All right, so another song very quickly, that song from Annie, Tomorrow. The sun will come out tomorrow, bet your bottom dollar, da 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 da. So listen to that, read those lyrics if you want to. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Secondary major for Leo. You might have a Leo of significance. You don't have to. I don't want to say think on the bright side or be optimistic, but that's kind of the vibe. As is your way, Scorpio, you can sometimes have a not so bright outlook on things, which is great because I think there are times to be measured in that way. There are times to be quite the realist. I feel like at this time, your faith is tested. The fact that maybe some of you never had any type of faith to speak of. Maybe you lost your faith. Maybe, again, you feel you were being punished or you're cursed. And this, again, this aspect of possibly having a bit of envy towards other people is coming through here. The Sun is not envious of anything. That's not like a low-key, brag on Leo, right? But the Sun itself is not envious of anything. The Sun knows its place. The Sun knows its value. And not that the Sun, well, I guess not astrologically, but cosmically or what do you call it? Cosmically, astrophysicist, whatever. The Sun knows its power, but doesn't gloat on it. It's comfortable. I think that's sort of what this is, maybe, for some of you, is to be comfortable in your discomfort. Not to say you can't do it. I think Scorpios would do well being comfortable with their discomfort. But I think maybe you don't want to do that right now. I think maybe you're, again, very concerned about the 3D space, very concerned about your day-to-day, as you should be. I'm not saying to, throw all that out and forget about it. I don't know. There's a harp here, so again, there's this feeling of music. The light that surrounds the baby's head gives me this enlightenment thing. So music might speak to you at this time, might help you regain your connection with your higher power, your higher self, right? For some of you, it will be getting into some connection with your own inner child or children of importance in your life. I don't know. I'm having a bit of a hard time understanding how this applies to you as advice, because you have a lot of dreary energy and you have a lot of the positives that exist in this reading are not in your reality. And I think the Sun is meant to maybe, again, enlighten you to this idea, as above, so below. That's not something that's easy to do, because often we as humans see life linearly. We experience life Monday through Friday, Sunday through Saturday, whatever way you want to read the calendar, right? And so there's this idea that, okay, it hasn't happened yet, and I was doing my mantras and I was doing my meditation, 12 days ago. And here it is, the 13th day and the 14th day, the 15th, the 16th, the 28th, the 32nd, the 625th day. And I still don't see the results in my reality. That must mean my connection with spirit is lost. Is that true? No. More than likely it's not true. But again, because of how we experience life in this linear fashion, and we count off days on a calendar, we count hours on the clock, etc., etc., there's this feeling of, well, it must not be working for me. I must be, being punished. I must be, for some of you, you feel really prevented from this. This trifecta here, Lovers, Moon, High Priestess, there's something in here that you want, that you desire, that you think is yours. You at some point you believed it's yours, but you've kept that quiet, or it's gone to ground. 12th house, Moon, again, more subterranean energy. Your sister sign Pisces, more subterranean, right? So it feels less tangible, whereas at some point it did feel tangible. So maybe that's the sun, to remind you to go back to your beliefs, to remind you to keep the faith, something like that. Scorpio, I'm going to end this because this is clearly the longest read. Well, you don't know that, but I know that. This is the longest reading I've done for this series so far, and I don't aim to keep my readings too long anymore. I want to, I'm trying to consciously shorten them. But you guys, you always, 9 times out of 10, you guys get a deep reading from me. And I think my Scorpio in my, I don't think I have Scorpio in my chart. I can't remember. Anyway, doesn't matter. That's your reading. If you like this one, if it resonated with you, if it made sense to you, if you go and you listen to that Prince song and you love it, great. Leave a comment, leave a like, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. If you want a personal reading from me, guys, you can find out how to do so by looking in the description box below. And if you, that's the end of the, that's the end. I can't even remember how I end of reading. Scorpio, I thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. Bye.